Welcome to the Bullits and Bourbon podcast, where it's not about the bourbon, but more about who you share it with.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Bullits and Bourbon, episode 42. And it's Friday night.
Nobody needs to know what you were doing in the bathroom with that deuce.
It's just this guy already. Don't even laugh, it hurts. So anyways, Friday night, and we got the entire crew here, plus Aaron Hyduke, who is good friend and the kind of the big dog for Pittsburgh Whiskey Friends, which is just an amazing Facebook group. Aaron, say hey, everybody.
Hey, everybody.
No, we're just real happy to be able to get him on. We get to talk about one of I think the best Facebook groups I've been a part of, and I'm part of a lot of Facebook groups. They are not all equal. Some are hot garbage, and others are just are like family. So
what would one of those hot garbage ones be?
Well, you're trying to.
I'm just curious.
That pot.
We call them the unnamed.
Well, there are several that I'm a part of where all it is spammers and weirdos.
Is that the grinders?
No, that I don't know what that is because I don't partake in that behavior.
What sure it sounds like.
Not that there's anything wrong.
Please the fifth.
Yeah, plead the fifth. But before we get started, we were fortunate enough when you came over, Aaron. You brought over 3 really cool, like, just one-off
whiskeys.
bottles. Yeah, we're and they were all good, but talk to us about it a little bit because I can't really get it across the right way.
Sure. So I brought Quest End, which is if you're a fan of Dungeons and Dragons, Critical Role. Any of that stuff Matthew Lillard has a company, the actor started a kind of a bespoke high-end D&D gaming equipment company. They do like these limited release editions of source books and Dungeon Master guides, that kind of stuff. But they're fans of whiskey, so they decided to do a release in a D&D type theme, RPG themed set. So I brought Paladin, which was the original release that they came out with first.
You passed the bottle in here, Aaron, so
Yeah.
you could.
Oh yeah,
Gorgeous
bottle.
Yeah.
size.
yeah.
You got the hit point meter on the side, just a really pretty labeling. Every release comes with kind of a story that gets you the background on the character, and is building a whole campaign kind of tale around each release.
Yeah.
So after Paladin came Rogue.
King Rogue, and this is the one that.
So Rogue is the second release.
One, yeah.
Yeah, so Rogue is the second release in the set. Again, this they kind of went. You get a little bit of if you're familiar, you get a little bit of the kind of a drow feel to it with the spider. But they have a third release that hasn't been released yet. It's called Warlock. And then after the success of this program, they are friends with the folks at Critical Role. And Critical Role wanted to have a whiskey made.
Oh yeah.
There's a spirit.
This is a pretty cool bottle.
In the Critical Role world called Sandcake's Hide, and which is made from some kind of like underground beetle, the bile of the beetle or something, and it's supposed to be super strong and in game, gets you drunk with one sip kind of thing. Like only the most hardiest of characters can take a sip of this whiskey and not be floored by it.
Me.
And there's a character in the game, in the series, where you basically, if you drink this, you have to roll, you have to make a saving roll. To make sure that you don't get sick or pass out, or if you're a berserker, that you don't go into a berserker rage.
Me.
So,
Yeah.
That's Sandcake's Hide. Also came with fantastic packaging.
It was cool because it has that little burlap
Here,
sack.
get this.
Like you pull that out, and I thought it was some ancient actually it looked like there kind of a bad tequila that was going to kill me.
The bottles are gorgeous. I feel like I
Yeah.
should be Vanna White right now, displaying
You're
the bottle.
nothing
From
close
everything-
to Vanna White. There's nothing even remotely synonymous with Vanna White and you.
But on the back of the bottle is the whole world map. So there's just I mean it's just really neat packaging. And like I said, every package comes with the story behind that character, and some artwork and a map and all sorts of little nerdy RPG type stuff.
Yeah, it was cool when you were pulling the boxes out. There were books. Short story books in there. And it's pretty neat. They do these two through Manifest Distilling, which is in Jacksonville, Florida. I'm familiar with Manifest. They've been around a while. This one I don't know.
That one's a mix. I think so.
Yeah.
I think some of that might be from Manifest as well. There's a blend.
Familiar Spirits in Jacksonville, Florida. So you're probably right. So,
and then I think they had some barrels from some other companies where that's where the vermouth and sherry finish comes into play.
okay. Yeah, which I do pick up on this one. So we got to try these two before. We tried them in order. We tried the Paladin first and then the Rogue. The Paladin was 100 proof. The Rogue was 98.2 ish. I don't know what this one that we're trying right
93?
now. 93. What's your favorite out of the three?
I'm kind of really digging the Sand Keg. Even though it's lower proof, there's a lot going. There's a lot of depth. There's a lot more going on. The Rogue is very close. Like it's hard for me to say 1, 2, but yeah, if I had to pick one, I'd say Sand Keg is probably 1, Rogue 2, Paladin 3. Paladin just is very nice as well, but it enters for 100 proof. It enters really, really light and soft, and kind of builds into flavor. Where the other ones, you get a lot more flavor out of the gate. But the Sand Keg is just hitting right.
And
for me
this
tonight.
is that one right here.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Now you got to try all three. Ty, what did you think?
And I'm not a big sherry fan, so
Yeah.
the fact that I'm kind of really leaning on that one is a shock to me.
Interesting.
All three were great. This one's a little bit smoother, not much flavor. Then you got this one, a little bit more flavor to it. And that one I thought was really good.
What did you think, Greg?
All three smooth. Due to the proof, that doesn't have a pungent punch at the end there, though. But I want to say Rogue. I really thought on the palate, a lot of flavor. This is called what again, Aaron?
Sand Keg.
Sand Keg. But I would put them all very close together. But I would put this one a little above these two for me, though. But if someone were actually trying to acquire these, they could not, correct?
I think you might still be able to get the Sand Keg. There might be a re-release of Rogue coming. Paladin, I think, is all sold out right now. Warlock, you can still buy. It hasn't shipped yet. So Warlock, you can buy. I forget what the fourth in the series is going to be this year, so I'd have to look it up.
So I'm guessing you might find these on secondary. If you look hard enough.
Probably.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think anything you could find, but
what are you willing to pay for it? So, I like the Rogue too. The Rogue is my favorite. This was a very close second. This is good. It does have that sherry. The notes pop off. I thought this one would be my favorite because it's 100. It's the highest proof, but it
Super
isn't.
light.
It's still good.
you thought the 1.8 would be a big game changer. Really?
You'd be surprised.
Wow.
You just never know.
I did think the 100 would come in a little stronger out of the glass than the Rogue, but complete opposite.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one was like really smooth on the front end, and at the end it had like a little zing on the
It
tongue.
builds. It definitely builds. The Paladin is, I think initially, like if you just went off of the nose and that entry, you'd be like, what am I even drinking? But then once it gets the mid palate, and then as it goes down, the flavors start to really build. But it is deceiving.
Yeah. No, you're right. 3 unique bottles. We don't really do a lot of the super unique bottles like this on the show, and it's kind of neat to be able to do one. We do taters.
It was episode 42, which again, because I'm a nerd, if you're a Douglas Adams fan, the meaning of life is 42, and I thought I would just lean further into the nerddom.
There we go. It's like predestined. So, no, it's definitely cool, and I appreciate you because these are all fresh cracks.
Yeah,
You were
I've
were
been
saving
them
these
to
for
have with
fellow
friends.
nerds.
Yeah, I'm not big on drinking alone.
No,
So I like to drink with people and share things with people and have a moment. And haven't had one lately. I was work had been really crazy, and now isn't
Aaron,
because I am laid off.
I agreed with you on not drinking alone until I drank with these three. Then I'd rather drink alone.
probably should drink alone.
There's something that just strikes me when I'm sitting in my garage in all that space by myself that comes across as a little sad.
Yeah. Thank God I have a whiskey lady that drinks with me because otherwise I'd be drinking alone, sad.
Well, no, we're lucky.
And a wife beater.
I mean, we, if it wasn't for you, we never would have tried these three. And I think, you hit it on the head, Jason. Oh, my God.
It's a beautiful bottle.
Yeah,
It is
aesthetically
freaking
pleasing.
cool.
To put this on the bar.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
It would almost be like I'd buy it and I don't know if I would want to open it just because the bottle is so damn cool. Like,
I bought backups.
Yeah, I know people get all cocoa for crazy for Blanton's, but this bottle blows it away. I mean,
Well, for you D&D fans over here, it has the HP on the side for the hit points.
Hit points, yep.
Correct.
Yep.
and then this one came in a friggin' burlap sack, looked like it was smuggled out of
And I love that medallion.
the medallion.
Nice heavy kind of.
It's just the little extra things that some of these distillers do in these special release bottles. It's kind
Who
of
doesn't like swag?
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. So, huge thanks for bringing those over. Those are really cool, and I think we're really blessed to be able to try it. And talking about other stuff, we were discussing other PA craft distilleries because we've been on this long kick, and you brought up Alter State, and I was like, well, I have a bottle of Alter State, and I really felt like you had just visited.
I did.
Alter State, and which is up in Erie, Pennsylvania. So it's just right up the road for us. And I was like, you know what? Let me go grab. I don't remember the last time I visited the Alter State bottle. So I went and grabbed it, and it was almost empty. I mean, it was only like we don't have a lot of this left. But we thought, you know what? Let's throw this on, and let's talk about Alter State. I went to their webpage to do a little read up on it because I really wanted to know more about them before we got on here. And to be honest with you, I was really surprised. So this is the Stout Barrel Bourbon. Cash series is what they call it. But they have a bunch. They have rye. They have a peated bourbon.
Sherry finish.
They have got a couple really looks good rums.
Gin, vodka.
Right. So, but I mean, I brought the bottle off the shelf. I looked at it and I realized I must have liked it because I dove into it. So, give it a try. I'm curious, Dan, especially what you think of it, because you were sipping on a little bit over ice. What did you take away from it?
Smells like bourbon. Tastes like bourbon.
I knew it.
Finishes like bourbon.
Do you get do you get that kind of coffee note in there from the stout? Because you're drinking on ice, so I was just curious if that comes through, if it gets watered down a little bit, or.
No, I do get that hint of coffee or tobacco almost. Definitely some darker flavors.
Chocolatey almost.
Would definitely pair well with a good cigar, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Agree with that.
But yeah, you could taste it. It tastes like a stout.
Yeah. And you can smell it too. Like just the scent of it is like
Well, you can definitely smell the
really,
stout.
really good.
So I'm wondering how long they aged that in a stout barrel.
I don't know if it says on the.
I could look on the website, which would probably be smart, but
It does not say how long.
Has a
You
nice.
don't have to say. So when I went to Alter State, we were just there 2 weeks ago. Very nice place, very welcoming. The young lady that was there, great, old fashioned. Me and a couple military friends went there. It was a great time. I mean, great place to go have a couple pours though. I was a big fan. Bought a bottle. Wish I would have brought the bottle over here.
yeah. That would've been
Yeah,
helpful.
thanks for bringing it over.
Yeah, way to go.
I didn't like y'all enough to share because it was so
No,
good.
no
though.
kidding. So so the stout barrel that they use is from the Voodoo Brewery.
Okay.
So that
Makes sense.
nice.
Yeah, that's pretty cool because
Right there in Meadville. Yeah.
right. So you're keeping it all PA.
There's also a Voodoo Brewing up in Erie though too.
Yes.
yeah.
Downtown.
Is there
Downtown Erie.
downtown?
Downtown.
Dan downtown. Yeah. So
Downtown.
So we're keeping it local. It's all in PA. I do pick up. It's a double oaked, so I am picking up a lot of coffee and chocolate caramel toffee. The finish is not. It's not short, but it's not long. It's medium. I tell you what though, on the finish though, I get more of that stout taste comes out.
Yeah, for me, the finish, I get a lot of I kind of get more of a coffee bitterness in the finish. And that's not a bad thing. Like for me, I love coffee. Coffee's another hobby, nerd
Coffee
spiral that I'll roll down. But yeah, it's the chocolate's there. Yeah, there's a stoutiness, nice oak. Like it's not super woody, but enough of that oak bite to balance some of the sweet.
I say, what do you think about the sweetness? I like sweet. I think there's a good sweet balance.
Yeah, there's a nice sweetness in there, but I think it does get balanced out with some of those other notes, some of that coffee, like you said, the bitter, like bitter, maybe it's some dark chocolate bitterness, and it's not tannic. You know, like sometimes you can get something super oaky, super tannic, like where you get that little bit of that mouth pucker.
Yeah.
So I don't think you're getting that. I think it's just balancing out that sweet.
I think it's a unique pour though.
Yeah,
we
it's
don't
fun.
we don't get a lot of
Stout barrels.
right that have all these flavors, that sweetness balanced out though.
Well, the story
Especially
behind
local.
this bottle was actually Ty and I were at the, what was it called? The PA.
Some whiskey tasting in Troy Hill, I believe.
That was about what, 3 or
2 years ago.
2 years? No, it was more than that.
Or was it 3 years ago?
Yeah, because that's where I first met John Manelli from the Dram Inters. Was I sat down, was at that event, and we bought a bunch. It was all Pennsylvania distillers or Pennsylvania whiskeys was there. So you had Quantum, you had I'm gonna forget half of them, but
Wiggle,
Wiggle, I don't know,
Liberty Pole, Wiggle wasn't there.
No, Wiggle wasn't there. Liberty Pole, of course, was.
Red Pump.
They were. Rebellion, which I have over there.
Okay.
I think you had Dad's Hat. I believe they were there.
MLH.
They were not there.
Lucky Sign.
Lucky Sign was there. I have a bottle from them. See, I love. He's an encyclopedia. He's
Trying to
going down.
think.
He's going down.
Stolen-
List.
I mean, Stolen-
He's like a damn elephant over there. with
Stolen
his
Wolf
brain.
usually shows up too, man.
Stolen Wolf
Stolen Wolf.
was
They
not
were not-
there,
oh,
but we will be going to see them in
Very excited.
2
September
weeks.
13th.
2 weeks.
Yeah, say hi to Eric.
Yeah, so we can't wait to do that. That's going to be
Very
fun
excited.
to do.
Yeah, awesome
So-
space. Great people. Stolen
Yeah,
Wolf, yeah.
we're
Great
super
trip.
looking forward to that. But I bought this barrel and I bought this bottle. Obviously, I loved it. It's bottle number 5. I just saw that, and I did a good job whacking it down. And then I guess I just put it on the shelf, and it probably just so many times bottles just get lost on shelves.
Yeah, I'd
And-
say that the bottle reminds me a little bit of the like Sweeten's Cove bottles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's good. That's a fair assessment of it, but delicious. I mean, it definitely. Now I think we need to get up there at Alter State.
Yeah, I haven't been to the actual site in Erie, their home. I've been to. They have a business that distributes for them out in Ligonier, and I am drawing a blank on the name of the business, or I'd give them a shout out, and I'm flubbing it 100%.
Yeah, it's a whiskey.
But yeah, I met them at an event that Lucky Sign did, where they brought in a bunch of PA distilleries. So pretty much everybody, I think, was there, and they had the stout finish, they had a sherry finish, they had the peat finish, and they had another one, and I'm drawing a blank on it. But the sherry and the peat are the ones. We were talking about this before.
Yeah.
That I would love to see them mash the two together, because I think I like the peat, but it was missing a little bit of sweetness, and I think the sherry.
Blah said it.
Yeah. Would give it the balance it needs.
That's interesting. So now I'm super pumped. I want to try. When I went through there, I saw their rye. I want to try that, and the sherry sounds amazing, and the peat. I mean, and they have a lot of products. So
and there's only so many locals that do peat. I mean, Liberty Pole does.
Yeah, I'd say it's a rare.
Yeah. So having another, was a nice change up.
Yeah, and looking through their website as I'm scrolling through, a lot of their bottles have won gold and silver. So
it's the one, and I do think I don't think Altered State gets as much attention locally because they are up in Erie.
Yeah,
but they're kind of not on everybody's radar. But everything I've had from them, they do great work. So it's definitely worth a visit. Definitely worth
great
trying.
place, great whiskey. Absolutely,
good prices.
Highly recommend try it out. I mean,
and their price points.
Yeah, I'm looking at their prices: $42. I mean, this one, which was
I
a
think
stout.
the most we pay was like $6.
This is $60.
I want to say $60 for a bottle.
So there's your most expensive for a bottle that we. I mean, look, proof's in the pudding. We killed it. I'm about having a little pour because it is good. I mean, and the proof is always in the bottle. So alteredstatedistillery.com is their website. If you check them out, they're up in Erie, Pennsylvania. It looks like they ship. I don't know where they ship to.
They definitely ship in PA.
They definitely ship in PA. So this is something we need to explore further. I think it's maybe time to reach out to them and say, hey, can we get up there? And I have ulterior motives. There's a hot dog place up in Erie. I can't remember the name of it, but it's
There's also a great cigar lounge up there called the Brig.
Okay, well, then there we go. Now I got 2 reasons, 3 reasons.
Road trip.
You thinking what I'm thinking, Dan?
Hot dogs?
Jason likes some wiener.
You need to stop it because he's going to whip out his chicken cock rather here pretty soon. So, but definitely shout out to Altered State Distillery. Wonderful product. Now we have a great excuse to spend more money and spend more effort looking at more whiskey, I think.
I think about
how will you survive?
Oh, I know. Right? It's a rough life.
But talking about Pittsburgh whiskey friends, Aaron, we're what is that? 5,500 people here. PA based. How far does? How far does it stretch?
I mean, we have a lot of so the one thing I think most people know about Pittsburgh is Pittsburgh travels.
It does.
When the mills closed in Pittsburgh, a lot of people had to leave the area for work to find new jobs. So Pittsburgh has a huge transplant expatriate community that travels.
Yeah.
A lot of, pretty much every state has a Steelers bar. I don't think there's a single. There's one that doesn't have a Steelers bar.
They were we had a Steelers bar in Germany.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was just weird.
Sadly, yes, there's a Steelers bar.
So he's a Browns nut job,
So look, I give all the credit in the world to Browns fans because
it sucks to be alive.
It is.
Stop, Aaron. When you're from Ohio, you go with whoever's winning. Browns or Cincinnati.
So nobody you've rooted for nobody ever.
Ohio State, baby.
Browns fans.
College football season's coming up.
As much as I'm a Steeler fan and have been, we get the boo birds.
Yeah.
The Browns fans, even when the product has been utter and complete garbage, they are behind the team 100%.
They just wear a bag over their head.
Yeah, sometimes.
And they keep drafting quarterbacks.
But I can't. There's a level of grassroots empowerment that the dog pound or
there is. I will say this: when I was first stationed here for the Army, I moved to Columbus, Ohio. Went back to my home roots, Ohio. I was so happy. So I'm looking for some local bars. I walked in this bar. I wanted to lose my mind. Walk in this bar. I see a sign that says "First Sign of Intelligence, Pittsburgh."
Here we go.
Miles. Come to find out, he was a Pittsburgh fan, and I'm like, I'm never coming back to this godforsaken bar again. I'm done.
But also,
I was so mad.
You were happy to get out of Columbus, right?
Oh yeah.
No, Columbus. No, why? Why would I be? Why? Oh, you know what?
Dumpster fire.
Step back right now.
So Columbus is great to visit.
Yeah,
but
I lived there for a year. There, it is so concrete and urbanized that, like, you just
where'd you live, Aaron?
Pretty close to downtown.
Downtown.
But how do you compare Columbus, Ohio, to Pittsburgh, though? Tell me.
Balls.
I think. Well, I mean, we have rivers. You have the old and tangy.
They got a zoo out there.
Yeah. You have crime. We have Well, we
Oh, we all have crime.
Yeah, we all have crime. You have the
I
have
think
the
over the
Buckeye.
last, so in the last
They got a big
10,
zoo out there.
20 years, Columbus has done a great job in building more green space. But when it was all government contracts, it was all concrete. There was no green space downtown.
So we're talking
None.
about hugging trees now.
I'm just talking about feeling like you can breathe fresh air
Hey,
You know,
and not
I'm
be
just where
surrounded
you
by
live.
concrete and
Whis-
overpasses and
The lineage of whiskey is making me be much more of a PA fan. Looking up Stolen Wolf, which we're soon to go to, I'm loving Pennsylvania a lot more, but Columbus, a lot bigger city than Pittsburgh. I think it was easier to travel.
oh sure, you got the loop.
But yeah, you did a little head nod when I said bigger city than Pittsburgh. You disagree?
I mean, yeah, I mean it probably is, but by not like large sums, I don't think.
Oh, I think Pittsburgh,
we have argued this,
Yeah, Columbus
like,
is in the top
for
15
Alaska.
biggest in the country. Where
Is it?
Pittsburgh? Oh yeah, Columbus is almost 3 times.
Well,
the size of
because
Pittsburgh.
they like to, whereas you don't count where we live or where you live or where Moon or Mars. Columbus is like, we're going to count everybody because we want to be all Columbus.
That's what he says anytime. Yeah, he has no clue.
Look at us! Look at us! We're
I mean,
Columbus.
Columbus had. I got all my OWA in the Columbus area when I used to cover that territory. So I used to get, the Weller Antique all
Yeah.
through the Columbus area. Some great little, shops. Hoof-hearted, not too far away.
Columbus is
I thought that's what I said. I thought he said
Who farted? Yeah,
I was like, I swear it wasn't me this time.
Columbus
Did you
is
fart? What are you talking about?
no.
there's a brewery
The
called
tongue, he said
Hoof-hearted. Yeah, there's a brewery called Hoof-hearted, not far
What?
from Columbus.
We
They
need
also-
to go there.
They also have coffee. They make. They have their house they have a small roastery in the brewery, and it's outside of Columbus, not in Columbus.
Middle West Spirits,
And
Oh,
is it
sure. Yeah.
which is a place we want to go and
Hotel
hang out.
Tango, aren't they out that way too?
Who?
Hotel Tango?
I don't know. That's a good question. I
I
mean,
think
it's
they might
on
be.
it's on the way to the Bourbon
what's
Trail.
the,
That's where I'll give them credit.
Yeah, I mean, you're on your way. You got it. Oop.
Oh fuck!
Muzzle tub.
Yeah. Let's keep on going on for the podcast right here.
This is at the point where
There's some great restaurants in Columbus.
we
There's
just some glass.
There's some great shops in Columbus
Yeah.
as far as getting whiskey, because of the way, I mean,
looking
Ohio
up now.
has a little better, it's state run from the acquisition of the liquor, but it's independent shops, selling it to you. So you get a much more bespoke, customer
Yeah,
experience.
You do
So
definitely.
there's lots of great things about Ohio, and then there's Ohio.
I think I was referred to as God's country. I think. As far as whiskey goes, I don't think Ohio is that much different than.
No, it's not radically different.
Yeah, it's-
from
yeah.
PA, no.
What's
Other
that?
than it's flat.
It's very state. Well, it's very state controlled still too. But a lot of people refer to it as land of the Weller.
Sure.
The red, green drops there though.
Gas
maybe-
is cheaper.
Yeah, and so I will say, green was not previously as much found in Ohio, but Pennsylvania dropping the ball on their Weller contract has really increased the amount of Weller that does go into Ohio.
That is
Ohio was
true.
always OWA. That's you. When Pennsylvania did have green a lot, like you just walk in the store and get green. That kind of shifted during COVID with some of the contract renegotiations, and now, Ohio is absolutely land of the Weller.
Oh, they are. Yeah. So getting back to Pittsburgh Whiskey Friends, how did this start? I know that you were pretty much the last big admin still here, right? From the original startup? Or
Yeah,
what's the history behind that?
Well, like I said, I'm social. I don't like to drink alone, so I've been a whiskey guy since my youth. I grew up around whiskey. My grandfather was a big old granddad fan. Had the swing. I don't know if you've ever seen it.
Mm-mm.
It was one of the big liter bottles, and it had a wooden swing that it sat
No
on.
kidding.
You'd pull it back, and it would just sit there and rock itself. Super awesome. Sadly, when he passed away, big story there, but his girlfriend at the time sold everything out from under us, so kind of sucked. But anyways, so he was huge and old granddad. That was the first pour of whiskey I ever had. He had a farm. I did some work there, cleaning up where the pigsty, the barn that the pigs were in. Did this huge cleaning it up and just getting it all. And my reward, and I might have been 12, 13 years old at this time.
That's how you do it. Nice.
My reward was we went to the club where he was a member, and my reward was a shot of Old Granddad.
And that's why our generation is the best. That's why we are the
chest.
Yeah.
And it was definitely one of those like, this is my reward. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. You didn't think of it as
Can
a
I have the
reward
orange?
then, right?
Can I have the Cherokee Red again, please? But then as I got in my teenage years, hunting camp always had wild turkey.
Oh yeah.
So I grew up with very responsible gun owners and drinkers. So hunting, all time with a weapon, there was no drinking. Drinking came after the weapons went away.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So that, once we were down for the night, there was learning, bullshitting with the old guard, the older dudes.
Oh yeah.
Learning, family histories, and there used to be guys that came in from Canada that were originally from Czechoslovakia. So just hearing a lot of their, what they lived through.
It's like a passing of the torch.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It was just, and it was always that shared communal kind of experience, and that. And then of course, as you get older, like you try other things. And I was a beer guy. I homebrewed for years, but I always loved whiskey and was always kind of there and just something that I had. And then I just kind of was like, there's all these beer groups, but
no whiskey.
There's
group.
no like local whiskey group. So I was like, well, I'll start one. And so I founded Pittsburgh Whiskey Friends on August 26th of 2016.
Wow.
And, I think we had 10 people for the longest time.
Yeah.
That grew to 50. And we had our first share. And that's kind of when I met Scott and Bobby. And then Alex a little bit later after that. They were part of that first 10 to 20 people.
Right.
And we just, things started to grow and snowball. Like you get 50, then suddenly you're at 300, and then next thing you know, you're at 500, and then you're at 1,500, and then we're at 5,400, today.
Yeah, I mean, I think
Now
when
that's not
I
like-
joined, it was 4, and I've only been there for 2 years, and it's exponential growth.
Yeah, and we try to keep everything. Our focus, there's other Pennsylvania whiskey groups.
Yeah.
Our focus is local, Western Pennsylvania. We do have Ohio and West Virginia because we're so close to one another. And again, we have a lot of people who are expatriates who come into town for work or to visit family. We've had people come to shares that they're just in town for that weekend. And this becomes one of their stops while they're visiting family.
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
Well, my
or
brother-
maybe it allows them to survive visiting family. I don't know.
Well, I know one of the other things I've seen you do on Pittsburgh Whiskey Friends, Aaron, is my wife runs a nonprofit, so those are always near and dear to my heart. And I have seen from time to time, I don't want to misspeak, but you are generally trying to do a fundraising. It's not just about the whiskey, but it's about taking care of the people within the community. Though.
Yeah.
And,
So from the day we started, as part of our kind of founding principles or beliefs, giving back to our community through charitable efforts has been part of that. So we've always tried to do fundraisers, raffles. Again, I'm saying things that may fall into a gray area from a legal perspective, but we have worked with other charities either through baskets, whiskey dinners. We do a big event during Christmas to fund, to raise funds through our community, and we get buy-in from our members. Last year Christmas alone was about 30,000, 35,000, somewhere in there. And then
a lot of money.
Through the other kind of side events that we do, we were almost, I think we were like almost 40, I want to say, with the side stuff.
Yeah, I will say that as far as groups
And
go,
that grows that's grown year over year.
Year over year.
Yeah.
This has been the most active Facebook group from a membership standpoint. I mean, and there's always, I guess, room for improvement, but I have made a whole bunch of friends from Pittsburgh.
Yes.
Friends.
I mean,
good friends, guys that now come over and I hang out and I care about them. And I'm involved in their lives,
and that's what we want.
I'm invested, and I can go to a share. And what I loved about the shares when they started off was, and I saw this on Facebook the other day because somebody was talking about, hey, what do I expect at a share? And I know, and it was also talked about on the Dram Answers when they did the 8th anniversary podcast, was you can show up and not know anything about whiskey. Nothing. And you will be greeted by nothing but a group of people that are genuinely invested in helping you learn with no judgment.
And
All
even
of
if and that's, I think that's the key. So a couple of things, right? We call it Pittsburgh Whiskey Friends, so that everybody always remembers to be kind to one another.
Yeah.
Like, yes, you can bust balls and do all that stuff, but ultimately, we like one another. We're friends, right? And so we keep that in the name to keep that at the forefront of how you communicate and how you greet people and how you want to be with people. Two, as far as on the share side, like there's always this idea of, I got to bring something special. I got to, like, if it's something you like,
Bring it.
bring it.
Yeah.
And if you're not sure, don't bring anything. Come, see what it's about, participate, meet some people. Because ultimately, the moment you walk through that door, you have one really great thing in common with everybody, which is you like whiskey.
Yeah.
You have something to talk about.
Yeah.
There's no pretension. There's no, will some people be, sure, probably. It happens, like that somebody will yuck your yum,
Yuck your yum. That sounds like the alternative to hot to a yuck your yum.
Yuck your yum. I like that, though.
Aaron might become the next hot to a yuck your yum.
Yeah, so since we're on the topic, I might as well pull my cock out.
Here we go. You do that
and I'm not going to yuck his yum.
We're not going to yuck your yum, Dan. We know you love it.
Still not sponsored by Chicken Cock. But I drink the shit and they don't pay me.
Dreams can happen.
Yuck your yum. I'm gonna keep this forever, Aaron.
I didn't invent that. It's been out there, but yeah, yuck your yum. Because, it's easy for an online community to crap all over
Each other.
one another. That's what most online communities are. If somebody posts something, and somebody will tell you the 47 reasons why you're wrong.
Yeah.
But if you go to shares and you start meeting people and you realize that there's an actual human on the other side of that keyboard,
Yeah, it changes things.
it does. It builds a relationship, and sometimes it builds great friendship.
Well, I don't disagree, because I remember 2-3 years ago I got my first Blanton's. Buddy got for me for a wedding gift, and I was like, it was the holy grail to me, set up inside this bar with the light shining down. Which you know what?
It's the holy hand grenade, dude. It's the way it should be presented.
But you know what? Great group of fellas here, so I would love to bring up something. You could plead the fifth, Aaron. But I remember Jason posted something not too long ago on Facebook.
Was he yucking someone's yum?
Yeah,
I was.
So I do not.
I wasn't yucking the yum. I was yucking the process.
You know what? Let me finish. Quit defend. What do you call him, Dan?
Ambassador of Faith. I need to take a step back.
Quit.
I don't like any of you.
Hold on. I gotta move the glass out of my sandals.
Of what you broke.
Your Glencairn broke.
Yeah.
I say we take his sandals off, make him stand on it.
That's good luck breaking glass.
I think on PWF's big about sharing.
Yes.
I think there was a drop of some Buffalo Trace products, and Jason did a little tangent. So
I didn't do the tangent on
can
Pittsburgh
you be
Whiskey
quiet
Friends.
for 30 seconds?
My mama said.
Wherever
We're
it
not
was,
besmirching your-
can you be quiet for 20 seconds?
You got 20 seconds. You better go quick.
Wherever it was,
Better
Jason
give you
did
that
a
pip
little,
hand.
You can't be quiet, can you?
gonna
It's
take it.
impossible. I'm gonna smack you in that. Yeah.
Let's laugh, man.
So here goes Jason. When are y'all gonna quit chasing bottles? Da da da. Basically, putting down the tater chasers.
I wasn't
And
putting
you
them down.
Be quiet, so you can't. It's impossible for you. But Aaron chimed in and he defended them, though.
Did I? Look,
Rightfully so, and I
we all
even
send our olive ranches.
Listen,
Basically, he got in your ass. That's what he did.
listen, so I'm gonna do some self reflection here. So this is what this group, Pittsburgh, has done for me. When I have
Sure
been,
as hell hasn't humbled you, I'll tell you that
I was just about to say it humbled me.
It sure has muzzled you because you don't shut the hell up.
I love that intercept.
Jesus.
Like he intercepted the humble. Like boom, shut it down.
He took the humble right away. So listen, when I'm wrong, and I will admit that I'm wrong. I have no problem. I'm wrong more than I'm right.
Especially with that face.
But when Aaron responded
I
to
heard
it,
something about a mustache.
it was very truthful. And here's so the older I get, unfortunately, because I hate getting old. When somebody speaks truth into your life, I'm finally starting. God, if I'd figured this out while I was in the military, I'd have been a 12-star fucking general. When somebody speaks some truth into your life, we all together, we just kind of need to accept it. We don't. It's hard because pride is a motherfucker, right? Mm-hmm. Pride is hard for us. So what I meant to say came across completely wrong. It should have been better had I read what I said and conveyed it. I think it was more out of frustration because when I went out to the parking lot, people were taking the bottles they had just sold and they were flipping them in the parking lot for more money. And I think it really bothered me to see that.
Sure.
To see that happening. Now, but yeah, I did. I yucked their yum, and I shouldn't have yucked their yum. I should have probably taken the
Yuck
moment.
my yum.
I should have probably when I had because number one, I said it. It was excitable utterance. Okay, and then they looked at me, and I was like, "Oh fuck!" Right? Like, they're all looking at me.
And I wasn't trying to be like corrective either.
No,
because
and I didn't take it like that.
It was. I just think if I can tell you every day in the group, there are rewrites upon rewrites of how I want to address something.
Right.
Because I don't want people. It's easy to read into text on a page.
Correct.
Right. There's words on a page. Certain words make people excitable. So you try to proofread and write that stuff out so that it's a much clearer, concise, and and hey, AI might be able to help you with that too.
I should have probably done.
I think
How do I write? I'm really irritated right now about this, but I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings.
I think Aaron's completely right, though. It's like if you and I were to talk over dialogue over Facebook, you could say, Blanton, if you chase Blanton's, you're an idiot. I'd say, well, you're stupid, da da da. And they could really think,
What are these two idiots doing out here? Why is it? It's like babysitting.
we have like Rain Man and radio.
I'm sorry for all of our viewers. Apparently, Ty and Dana want to slap cocks together and play behind the bar.
Hey, they are entertaining on the side. There's people that are going to zoom in on that video in that corner.
I mean,
what is going on?
They're
right
really
there?
into it. What's happening over here?
We're helping our YouTube watchers.
By doing what? What is going on back here?
Put a little chicken cock up there.
Oh, for fuck's sake! Anyways,
So I go ahead. Go ahead, Jay.
So I think everything comes down to again, I try to be, we try to be as welcoming as possible at all times, and again, and writing replies to sometimes touchy things or innocuous things. You still want to be respectful of, because I don't think most people think that they're coming off in a bad way.
No.
Or have a bad intention.
Read it back to yourself, though, and sometimes when you do that, you find out
But this, this day and age, there's a definite difference between growing up around trolling and having not. I didn't grow up with my trolls were called bullies, I guess, when I was a kid. but it didn't follow you. It wasn't 24/7 online, everywhere you went. And then people have developed a skill set of
Purposely
really really laser focused takedown statements.
Well, they hide behind a keyboard.
just hurtful for no reason.
But I also give them the pinpoint accuracy sometimes is respectable. Like I can read some stuff and be like, wow, I disagree with you. Wow, that is a well crafted.
Well, I think for Jason, I think we all forget where we started. We forget these bottles that were unicorns to us.
Yeah.
And as we try other bottles, we look at people who are just getting into it though, and we're like, seriously, you're chasing that though? But
no,
they
listen,
are.
That's fair.
Whether they're 35 years old, they are still young to the craft though.
Mm-hmm.
And to them,
Everybody
that's a
starts
unicorn.
somewhere. Yeah, everybody starts somewhere, and where you start and where you finish may not be the same place. The thing you may not have liked when you got into this, you may love later, and it's just natural progression. It's just like food, I know a lot of people who hated coffee.
Well, I think where Jason starts and finishes the most quicker, the most men.
Well, I tell you what, you three are all riding a fine line tonight next to me. No, listen, I think it's a valid point. I think in that moment, the irritation of the situation got the best of me. And I will admittedly say, Dan knows this better than anybody. He's known me for a very long time. I am not the most...
humble person, patient person, good smelling person, tallest person,
non-combatant.
Yeah.
Did you say tallest?
Yeah. I'm kind of tall. I feel really short, and I'm in line. No, but you know what? It was a reminder that you're right. We all start someplace, and the fact that like Pittsburgh Whiskey Friends takes you in, and nobody. I got introduced to peated whiskey because of
the boggers.
Yeah, I mean Humberto and Rich, and these are guys that had no reason to ever. Why would they ever want to talk to me? They had no reason to.
Most people don't want to.
No, they don't. But what ended up happening is I really found a community of whiskey drinkers who I started to respect. I will turn to. I will call. I will ask advice, Jim and Humberto and Brian and Jacob and you, and I'll say, hey, what do you think? Like if I don't know something, I get on the phone.
Why didn't you mention me?
Because you're an idiot. But anyway, moving on. And you're a Buckeye fan.
Yeah, I think everybody has, all of this stuff is, every day should be a learning thing. You learn something new every day. Mm-hmm. Like there's not a day that goes by where I don't, and I'm not saying just about a whiskey, just everything. Like you either are open to it or you're not. Yeah. And I think that's really the key is as long as you keep an open mind and kind of an open arm, like I'm ready for a hug. I'll hug you right now. Look at that. Oh, hey.
See? Exactly.
Yeah, he likes me. They're all degenerates.
Keep your mind open.
Like, you want a hug? No, fuck
I think everybody is. I think as long as you're willing to accept other people, and people will say stuff and that they firmly believe. I don't need to argue. Like if you want to believe something, I don't need to argue with you. Like there's a lot of that at times too, where somebody has a thought and they believe it 100%.
Yeah.
That's Jason 100% of the time. You can't tell him different. He's like Kanye West. Can't nobody tell me nothing.
I don't feel the need to change your mind a lot of times.
Yeah.
Sometimes
whiskey is that.
Sometimes when I see somebody selling a bottle on the secondary, on the dark side for a price, I feel like sometimes I'm like,
like who?
I need to tell somebody like, no, don't do that.
Why would you do that?
Yeah, that's absurd.
Yeah, I think there's guidance. And then there's confrontation. Yeah. I can guide and say, well, we've had this happen where, there's been arguments about bottled and bond and what the notes said and what the oldest whiskey is and, oldest distillery, continuous distillery. Like there's all these little caveats, right? And that's where you can get into real kind of nitpicky quagmires sometimes is like what what are what's the terms of this argument?
Right? And what do you get
like
from
define all the like if we haven't defined everything up front, then we're just arguing.
Yeah, for argument's sake.
Yeah, and where do you go with that?
Yep.
And then you got to get into then you start going down a rabbit hole, and really what did we accomplish? So sometimes, I just
Tater bottle fan, Aaron?
Do I have a tater bottle?
Tater bottle fan, Blanton's ER.
I don't hate Blanton's.
EHT.
I mean, if I'm gonna buy something, it would probably be an EH Taylor.
Which one? Which one?
I am a barrel proof fan. That's my favorite out of the lineup. But I also haven't had, the tornado or the warehouse or
18-year marriage, warehouse baby.
He's out there. Dan's over there like, let's buy that motherfucker.
Okay, yeah. For anything from EHT barrel proof below, you would go with the barrel proof.
Taylor barrel proof, used to be a little more accessible and easier to get. It's much harder now, like all Taylor is. I like Eagle Rare 10. I think it's a great, out of the kind of that traditional Buffalo Trace lineup, like Buffalo Trace versus Eagle Rare, I go more Eagle Rare than Buffalo Trace. Buffalo Trace just is very kind of middle of the road for me. Like, it's fine, it's good. Some of the store picks are fantastic, but the base product is a fine product, but not what I lean towards. Same with Blanton single barrel. I think there's better single barrels on the market. Not that it's bad. It's it's a fine whiskey, and if you've never had it, you absolutely should try it. But I think, again, on being open, I think you would be, maybe surprised, maybe not surprised, but I think, like the amount of hype that has been built around that experience, I think you would be shocked by how much better some other single barrels are out there.
And that's the way that I should have phrased it.
I don't disagree, but I think human nature is when you tell me I can't get it, or when I have a hard time getting it.
Hype train is.
So when I can't get it, I want to get it though.
Yeah, FUD is real.
Human nature.
Fear, uncertainty, doubt. And demand. If there's a demand, then that means, well, if all these people want it, then why wouldn't I want it?
Correct.
Right.
Yeah, you do. You should have it.
No,
you just shouldn't pay 150, 200, 300, whatever, right? Like, if it's retail, knock yourself out, get it all day. If you don't mind standing in a line for that experience, do it. I'm not going to tell you what to do with your time.
Have you stood in the line?
I've never stood in line for whiskey.
I have. Oh,
I have stood in line for beer.
And Jim Wiggins' wife caught me. Which was
I stood in line for beer.
I have
back in the hype days of beer. I stood in line for beer.
Well, I now have sometimes needed to bring somebody a bottle because we're just trading, and I enjoy all the guys there. It's something like it's like the Breakfast Club.
Yeah, absolutely.
And honestly, I went there because I'm like, hey, dude, do you want to meet at X store at 8:00? Because I know there'll be 5 or 6 guys there, and we'll just hang out. I'm like, I don't care if anything even drops.
Yeah,
we're just gonna sit around and shoot the breeze.
Yeah.
I just enjoy the camaraderie.
Yeah, no, and I think there's a very valid point to that. I hear this all the time of the amount of friends that have been made in that line, or new members that have come from people introducing them to Pittsburgh Whiskey Friends while they're in line for that. And I'm not downplaying lines. I'm just saying, at this time and stage of my life, there's very few things that would make me go out and wait in line. I'm just, I haven't had, and I think it's also like, if you have that time, if you have that flexibility in your schedule, yeah, do it. If you don't, I see a lot of people getting frustrated as well.
Yes.
That I can't do that. I know it. I understand 100%. There are other ways. Again, make friends.
Yes.
With people, and you'd be surprised that you'll get a bottle, because sometimes people do that for their friends. They pick it up for them. I can stand in line. You can't. I'll get you that. They'll get a taste to you. They'll give you a sample, so you can find out if you even like it.
And want to waste that $200. Yeah.
Right. So you get this taste, and maybe it's not your jam. Well, I just saved you money now, right? Like, there's nothing wrong with that. I think that's what, like at the shares, Blanton's, Eagle Rare, Buffalo Trace, I've seen E.H. Taylor's. I mean, you name it, I've seen it on the bar top counters, whatever, at our shares. Mm-hmm. You get an opportunity to try a lot of things and decide, is this something I want to hunt? Like, is it worth it to me? And then, if it is, go out, be fruitful, hunt away.
When you get guides, I remember at I think my second share, Glenn from Fatheads.
Oh yeah.
I had missed the Liberty Pole Fathead release.
Oh yeah.
And I think
great bottle.
Yeah,
great
his back was to me, and I think he turned around and introduced himself, and he was like, "Hey, I can get you a bottle of that." And I was flabbergasted. I'm like, Are you serious? He's like, yeah, man, just reach out to me on Facebook, boom, boom. And he got me a bottle of this, and that encapsulates the group. It's not about the whiskey. It's about the friendships. It's about I've learned more about whiskey from the people in that group. From the wonderful, I think about the trip I took to Texas.
Well, probably more from Marianne Eves, really.
So if you remember, a couple years ago, I took a trip to Texas. Remember the cross country trip that cost me an arm and a leg? And I remember I stopped at a base in Oklahoma. Dan, what base is it?
Can I get some more of the Altered State?
Yeah, here you go. It's out.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, I got something for you.
I'm so sorry.
There you go.
Who passed chicken cock?
That's some more coffee.
I'll just some coffee.
What's the base in Oklahoma?
Is it Fort Sill?
Fort Seals.
No, Air Force Base. I don't care about your Army. Offutt, yeah.
Laughlin.
Shut up. Nobody cares about the Army. Okay.
I said Laughlin, dummy.
That's in Texas. How did you get Oklahoma?
Is it?
I don't know.
my goodness.
I hope you step on the glass.
Insequential. Well, it's in my sandals right now.
Is it? Your sandals? Those are called
hoard the
flip-flops.
cock.
I wish we could.
Don't pass
I wish we could take a
Pass the
picture of this
cock.
right down here.
You gotta pass the cock. Look at that. Yeah, take a picture of what did you break? Oh shit! You broke one of Jennifer's port glasses.
Damn.
That's your ass, motherfucker.
Oh.
That is your ass. I'm just letting you know. Yeah, you're done.
It's in my left foot.
Anyways,
right now.
so the cock goes down this way. Here, grab my cock.
That's my cock.
Yeah, that's your cock. One cock. We all share a cock. So I remember I reached out on the group to Janice Yates, and she's a Penelope fan. And I was on base, and I found one that she'd been looking for. The community in that group has gotten so tight that I don't care about spending a couple $100 to grab a bottle here and there for a member, because I know that they're going to, down the road. It doesn't even matter to me, but down the road they're going to be like, hey, I wonder if Jason would like X, Y, Z.
Yeah, I mean, there's some superior mules, like guys that are.
Well, I know a bunch of them that are down in Mexico. I can get you hooked up real quick because I did some time down there.
For him.
Damn, not that type of podcast right now.
Oh yeah, I got a little too excited, a little too quick about the mules.
Broken arrow.
Sorry, my bad. Broken arrow.
Oh dear God! Here goes this podcast shut down.
Yeah.
I guess there's a similarity.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Mule's a mule.
Yeah. No, but you're right.
Luckily, they don't have to hide the whiskey in some of the places the other stuff gets hidden.
You mentioned mule, and Dan thought of donkey and got excited.
Yeah, he did. He's like, gee, between the chicken cock and the mule, it's all
Do you know
upside
what you can get?
No,
We're not going to. Not the podcast.
How do you want him to plug his mic right now?
Yeah, I know. So I got to ask you this when it comes to the group. I mean, in the time that I've been with it, I think I've been there almost 3 years now. I watch it grow and kind of evolve even more. What are you looking for in the next kind of couple of years?
Oh, good question.
Is there? I mean, it's great to have picks, and Pittsburgh Whiskey Friends does great picks and pretty consistently. It's pretty much what I will save.
I would say do a chicken cock pick and take me on the team.
I mean,
you can lobby for it.
that's going to get you. I feel like you're looking for that sponsorship out of that one.
It's just something. It comes with a tattoo.
It started off as a joke, but honestly, I love their product. I mean, everything from the rye to the small batches.
Do they do picks? Have you seen
They
that?
do. Well, I don't know.
I think they do. They do the Field and Ethos.
What is that?
Constantly has.
So
that's the
no,
rye.
they do because the bottle I bought in Florida was a private selection, was a private pick. So I don't know how often they do it.
Yeah, man. I mean, like picks are, we're in an interesting place with the PLCB at the moment.
Yeah.
In that they are now, there's like, what do they call it? Luxury brand, luxury purchase, something like that. So there's certain brands have created this ability to purchase a barrel, and all the bottles associated with it in Pennsylvania, which is a major step for PA. Yeah. Like, that's not been possible in the past, right? You could do it if you were a licensee. Now there's, you can buy as a private individual this product. And it's certain brands, and I'm not even sure what all of them are, because it's really new and it's something that's happening. I'm excited for that, and we're definitely going to explore that. But also at the same time, picks, there's a saturation that's occurring of picks, and I think you're seeing, there's so many choices of picks that people are maybe not buying into everything.
Yeah.
And, and putting out the money, $10,000 to $20,000 on a barrel, you want to make sure that this is a thing that people want. So I think, on the barrel pick side, we're going to be a lot more strategic and precise in what we pick, to not add to that oversaturation. Because there's other groups doing picks, and,
Yeah, I agree with what Aaron says, is that last couple years, yes, it's becoming a store pick.
The in thing to do.
Increase the value, but now you're getting so many store picks selected by.
Well, I
think
now
it's becoming a norm now.
And we've always done it for the group,
right?
Only for the group. We don't try to
secondary pedal in.
No.
Was that Wilderness Trail Pittsburgh Whiskey Friends?
We did do a Wilderness Trail.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, that was a phenomenal pick, hands down one of my favorite picks.
Yeah,
I was on that team.
Well,
good job.
Jason was on that team.
Yeah, we had a great time, and this is one of those I'm almost referring to where, it was fun. It was a fun pick to do, and I've been on other picks, not with Pittsburgh Whiskey Friends. That was by far. I really got to meet and know John Manelli, the Dram Jeezer podcaster, and we drove down. And listen, we're pretty different people, but we realized we were much more similar than we are different, and that was one of the cool things.
And I think that's true of
everything,
people in general. Yeah, there's more common than there isn't.
He was charged very early in that trip by my wife that I was not allowed to buy certain things. And he got listen. We were in Party Source, and I went to grab a bottle. And he slapped my hand. He's like, nah. And I'm like, damn, man, he got the message. That's my kind of people. But that was a pick that I thought instantly would sell out. Boom, gone. And it took a little bit. And
they all take a little bit.
Yeah, I was confused by that. It was.
So one, Facebook. That's the 800-pound gorilla in the corner, right? Like, Facebook is a thing.
Yeah.
And it is not
friendly.
It's not a thing that makes sense, right? Like, if I use, I don't like using the everyone tag, but it's the only way that I can get any saturation out anymore, because 9 out of 10 posts fall into some gray area that you never see, or you see a week, 2 weeks later, suddenly in your feed telling you that this thing was available, and you're like, well, I didn't see that.
We're seeing that, Dan. We're seeing that now with when we promote.
Yeah, with our giveaway,
with our giveaways or our podcast, and it's like the same people pop up, and you hit that everyone button. If I feel like it's like
you feel like you don't want to bother. Yeah. I hate tagging everybody, but
I'm in a lot of Facebook whiskey groups, and I will say this: there are some groups who use it daily.
Yeah, sure. They do. Yeah.
So,
yours is very selective.
If you're putting out a good product, though, and something people like, they want to be in that, and they have the ability. They have the ability to mute that though too. Don't be afraid to use it though.
I think it's just the awkwardness of what it is. Like, we're able to pin or feature certain posts. So you do that. thinking, oh, it's a featured post. People will see that. Complete opposite. It almost hides it from a lot of people.
Well, it does because they have 500 Facebook pages. They have 1,000 friends, and that post gets lost. So yes, you have to tag them.
Yeah.
So
and then what's funny is they get real surprised by it.
Well,
everything.
Well, then you have the other thing. You got all these random ass pages that you don't even follow pops up because you might like this. Follow this? Yeah. No, I don't give a shit. Let me see what my friends are posting. See what the groups I'm following.
How many times have you been having a conversation with someone, and the next hour suddenly you get an ad for it?
Every night over here. Say the word LeBron James. Watch what happens on Facebook.
So, Craig, what's that like with farm animals that you Google all the
time? There's a couple of sheep, a couple of goats. Well, I mean,
we did a test one night where we said, I'm interested in buying a white llama. And then all of a sudden, we were getting ads for llamas.
Get out of here, really?
Nonstop.
Oh, that's unreal. That's when you know.
I am interested in buying a brick of cocaine and a Ukrainian hooker.
We're just going to shut this down right now. And a Ukrainian cooker. No, I think you're right. The saturation's always an issue. I mean. But I will say this
you try to find a good median though.
Yeah, but I'm part of like 47 Facebook groups, and I'm pretty active. I mean, part of it is to promote, like when we do giveaways and stuff like that. I to get the involvement. But there's one or two groups. I mean, I run my own group. Well, technically, I don't really do it. I mean, we kind of just use it as I don't even know what we use it for anymore. Steel City?
I haven't seen a post on there
it's
for
for advertising.
I totally forgot
I could completely care less. It's like, if you need to tell somebody about your business
for money laundering, that's what they use.
Yeah.
Look, I don't care about the DEA, but don't fuck with the IRS. The IRS scares me.
It's for
DEA, not so
advertising,
much.
advertisement laundering. So no, I mean, but Steel City was created to kind of, we want to talk about beer and bourbon, and then it turned, the COVID happened. And I'm like, hey, businesses advertise all you want. I don't care if they shut us down. Oh no, but we don't really invest a lot of effort or time into it. For the most part, it's just there.
There's a lot of times. I mean, I wish that Facebook was a little more transparent on things. That it was a little more friendly from. When you're having a problem with a feature they rolled out, that there was a real feedback mechanism that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
When things do get flagged and you challenge it, that it isn't just our reviewers will take a look at this, and that's it. Not that we'll undo what we just did, we'll take a look at it
or give you an explanation.
Right. Yeah.
Well, remember for the longest time I would share stuff. Because it was a pain in the ass to copy and
oh yeah. You were getting flagged as spam.
I was getting flagged as spam, and so I'd text you, and you'd be like, "Oh Jesus!"
Well, I mean, I couldn't type. I couldn't type. And I still can't. I can't type the word Discord.
No kidding.
Without it being flagged that I am trying to.
Really?
Yeah. Because Discord has a huge criminal activity where people get lured in on these links. So Facebook has Discord flagged. If you type it, they will flag you as trying to scam people. So I had my account locked. I had to do all this stuff to get my account unlocked, because they thought I was scamming them.
It's easier to say you're a Nigerian prince and you got millions and millions of dollars to give away. All you got to do, send me a check for $100 or Venmo me $100, and we'll get that money to you.
I'm a Nigerian prince.
Yeah, we use an emoji when we talk about the disco. We call it the disco server, right? So we use the disco emoji.
Yeah.
To be our representation, because we have a Discord server, and because we had a chat group that was a really active chat group. And there was some great stuff happening there, and there's a nice community on there, and Facebook kept flagging the group for violations. No, they don't tell you what it is. They don't give you any insight. There's no challenge for it.
Yeah. Do better, Mark Zuckerberg. You're an idiot.
And you look at the chat, you look through the chat, and there's nothing in there that's offensive or illegal, but they keyed on some word that was used in a different context, and now you're in trouble. So we moved all of that to the Discord server, where we don't get in trouble for it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely interesting. I mean, I tell you what, though, of all the groups, though, Pittsburgh Whiskey Friends is the nearest and dearest. I mean, to me personally, I
love it too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a labor of love. I'm glad that it's, every year, we have what success we have, and the charitable efforts year over year keep increasing. And I'm hoping this year, even with, a lot of challenges for folks.
I told you, Aaron, I still owe you a bottle of Stag.
Do you?
Oh, see, never mind. I don't. Sent you a message. I still owe you a bottle of Stag for your charitable.
Yes,
I
will say this:
giveaway.
I had never won anything in my life, ever, until Pittsburgh Whiskey Friends, and I won a bottle of Octomore.
Oh, nice.
I could have never gotten the bottle, to be honest with you. But the fact that I won it was that was the best part. I won something, and then I got it from Brian. He hooked me up.
Nice.
And,
Which event was that?
So you see the one with the bloggers?
Was that one of the charity events?
It was one of the charity
Christmas?
events. Yeah. And I don't really, for charity events, I just throw money in there. Who cares, right? It's going to something good. So what I love about the group, the community, the people, the things that we do with it, the picks are nice. They're great. But it's the community that really comes together that really makes it.
Yeah, I guess I never really answered your question, like where I see the group going. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I mean, I hope we still, like I said, I would like to see more of these charity type efforts increase. We're trying to do more tasting events, getting people outside of shares, like more focused tasting type opportunities. And just, while there's a part of me that says, wow, I'd really love to see all our members sometime, I also recognize most of our spaces can't hold 5,400 people.
Yeah. we at this point, we need a convention center.
Yeah. My head would explode if that ever happened.
But the personal interaction, I mean, I love that, every now and then I'll get a message, hey, what do you recommend? And I can kind of give my thoughts, or if I don't know, and I will say I don't. If I don't know, I don't know.
No, if you don't know, you just tell them chicken cock. Recommend chicken cock.
I did do that, but a lot of times I'll say, hey, you know what? Maybe it's better if you ask Cade or Logan or Humberto or Brian or all these other great people that really know.
Yeah, and you'll see a lot of shared information about Kentucky. To do the Bourbon Trail, like what places have really excited people versus what's off the beaten, the beaten path that might be exciting that people don't make it out to as much. What's some of the upcoming stuff that you should check out? What's a good restaurant? Like all that kind of stuff. Hiking. I've seen a lot of people share hiking information.
The restaurants are big. Yeah.
So it's just there's a lot of untapped resources. Some guys travel a lot, so they know a lot about a lot of places. It's just, it can be whatever you want it to be. And, it's fun to explore.
No, 100%.
I agree. I think that's a good note here. I think your wife's going to kill us.
Well, I don't care. So, no, in all seriousness, Aaron, thank you so much. We've been wanting to get you over for a long time. And thank you for joining us. And, 42. and kind of coincide with the bottles. Thank you for bringing the bottles over. Yeah. Like how Dan's positioned his cock up front.
Look, my cock's always out front.
Yeah.
There's also another brand that's named after me, distilled in Buffalo, called 1 Foot Cock. If you'd like to give it a try.
I swear to God. Oh, dear God. In any event,
I thought it was going to be a little book or something like
that. Little foot. Listen, everybody, we appreciate you joining us and kind of listening. I highly encourage you, if you're looking for an amazing group, check out Pittsburgh Whiskey Friends. They are on Facebook. Just a wonderful group of people, top to bottom. The most humble group that I'm a part of. I really super enjoy working and getting to know people in that group.
And these are the words by Ambassador LaFave.
Here we go. Just so you know, Ultra Estate Distilling, check them out. We decided to kill this bottle.
Yep. Erie, PA, great location.
Erie, PA,
good stuff.
And as always, check us out on Patreon or www.Bullits and Bourbon. You got to spell out the A-N-D in that. That's where you can buy all the funny merch that the guys are wearing. Dan, you've got one of our newer shirts on.
Yeah, I do.
Why don't you spin it around and show us those two beautiful faces on the back?
And Bullits is not spelled the way you think.
No. yeah. It's Bullits for a reason. The reason is I suck at spelling, and then when I did it that way, I realized I spelled it wrong. I had to come up with a good excuse. So, right? Wrong?
Yeah, pretty much. You're combat arms guys. You think you would be able to spell bullets, but you're
well, it happens. So, check us out on there. We will have more merch coming soon. I think our hoodies are in stock finally.
Yes.
Yeah. I got one headed this way, right?
Yeah, that's one area we really kind of lacked in is merch on the PWF side. People ask us for T-shirts all the time, and it's just not something that I've.
Yes, but they have Glen Cairns.
We have some stuff. We have glassware. We have some stickers, that kind of swag.
Yeah.
But yeah, T-shirts are the number one requested. Hats is another one.
You have to talk to these guys, Aaron, and figure it out here, and we'll make it work.
Yeah,
we have made more errors at this point than we have successes. We're getting pretty good.
At this point, we have figured out everything you don't need to do.
Yeah, we can tell you what not to do. So
it's finding a partner that we want to work with. I really want to. I would love to work with somebody local.
That would be amazing.
I haven't figured that part out yet.
Yeah.
So if you're out there,
Commonwealth Press.
Commonwealth is the one that I'm most interested in. Union Shop. I've worked with those. I've met those guys before. They're awesome. Some fantastic art. I don't know if you've ever been to their facility, but
I haven't. But
some of the artwork that they do for concert posters and stuff, amazing. Just fantastic.
So as always, guys, thank you for joining in. We appreciate your time. Can't wait till next week. Listen, one last thing before we close out. It's getting close on being able to like and follow on Facebook and on Patreon to get entered in for the Liberty Pole giveaway. Next month is going to be something. I swear, Dan, I'm going to throw a bottle at your ass. You're back there bullshitting right now.
If only you could see what Dan's
listen, I'm done. Register if you want a chance for a free bottle. We've got literally 5 people registered. We have more than that. Dan hasn't tallied them up because he's
great odds for those 5 people.
Yeah, so listen, the odds are really good for you grabbing one of the best. I think the best bottles of rye you're going to get. So check us out. Until then, as always, my friends, stay thirsty. We love you. Cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you for listening to today's podcast of Bullits and Bourbon. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe so you never miss an episode.